Hello, welcome to SquishiVision, where, well, I haven't just watched episode 5 of season 3 of What If the Emergence Destroyed Earth. I actually watched that, this morning? No, this afternoon. I watched it shortly after I woke up, which for me is the morning. And then I had to do other things with my day. So we're reacting to it now. But this is actually another strong episode in the season, following from yesterday's episode. Again, we're not really following the whole concept of what if we slightly changed one of the plot points of the mainstream films and the ramifications of that. Well, I guess we are, but then we're telling a complete original story. Like the fact that the Earth was destroyed because of the Emergence is fairly arbitrary to the entirety of the plot of the episode. It could be any other world-shattering event. It could have been even the world-shattering event that we saw happen in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because how cool would that have been? Marvel is, I don't know why Marvel's so like reluctant, especially like What If, to like tie into that. I guess if it, I mean, you know, yeah, it could have been like, you know, what if that happened, but instead of this happening, other stuff happened. I guess it'd be too complicated because you gotta like mention all the kind of season 5, 6 plot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I have to say, it just occurred to me, I haven't checked side by side. It'd be cool if the design of the world being shattered in What If matched the design of the world being shattered in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Probably not. I imagine they just, I mean, there's an egg split cracking. It's probably not hard to kind of come up with something. Another interesting episode where a whole bunch of the characters from the films are reprised by their live action counterparts, even though they've appeared in well, I guess the notable exception here is Benedict Wong as Wong. They've done the voices for all their previous appearances, but in this appearance of the character, they don't do that. Not sure why. They were busy because they weren't doing Wicked. But Michelle Yeoh doesn't reprise their role as their mainstream character in this, but they were busy doing Wicked. Hello, Victor Gabriel Costa Marinho. I don't know what you're saying, but thank you for joining the stream. And yeah, oh, what's his name? Forgetting his name now. But the guy who did Quentin Beck isn't in this episode either. But they've not appeared in the previous one, so that's by the by. But I think pretty much everyone else of importance is in it. I didn't say yesterday. The actor, I could tell it wasn't Jeff Goldblum doing the voice for the Grandmaster yesterday. There was something just slightly off about the impersonation. But I can tell the same with Wong in this episode as well. So yeah, this was a pretty, I mean, this was like, there's always like one post-apocalyptic episode of What If, and this seems to be the one here. The one where the Watcher kind of like slightly breaks their vow and sets up the kind of finale of the season. It was an episode that focused more on Riri Williams, perhaps doing her a bit more of a service than she got in Wakanda Forever, and I guess laying the paved work. I mean, we don't know. It's interesting. We don't really know what the character is going to be like. She was a supporting. Really, her role in Wakanda was basically just to tie in to Ironheart. Like, they put her in that because they wanted to promote Ironheart. That's essentially why she was in there as an advert. I mean, that's pretty cynical, and I don't like to be one of those cynical Marvel viewers because I do actually enjoy the MCU. But she didn't need to be in there for any other real reason in what was already kind of a padded runtime. Not that I have any complaints. I didn't think she took away from it, but she was clearly in it for a reason. And this kind of also furthers that character, but obviously it's not in this version, but we're supposed to assume that the characterization is pretty similar. And you know, she's portrayed as someone who's quite stubborn, resolute, but is also very kind of easily jaded. So there's stuff to kind of take away from that episode. And it's pretty dark, like the scene where Quentin Beck kind of peels with illusions and reveals that all of her allies are dead, and there's like very kind of harsh jump smash cuts to the bodies that appear for like frames to kind of like imply that it's much more graphic than it is. I mean, I could catch the visuals and it didn't look particularly like gory, but it's kind of one of those things where it suggests it more than it is. But that was pretty dark. Quentin Beck, I mean, also the voice actor who did Quentin Beck in this episode did a pretty good job of impersonating the actor. Was Quentin Beck's one of those villains where you can go very kind of like cheese, like very kind of like low threat on one side, kind of what was their appearance in, say, like both the video game adaptation of Spider-Man 2, which I played, and the video game adaptation of and also Spider-Man 2, the video game adaptation of Spider-Man 2 the film, and Spider-Man 2 the video game that came out last year, both portray Quentin Beck as someone who is powerless and a pretty like harmless villain, who uses a lot of their tech to kind of like imply they're stronger than they are. But you could also like go, like, I know there's parts of the comics where his ability to kind of brainwash people is shown as much darker and formidable, and in this version they not only have the power of the drones and the illusions, but also like nanite tech from Tony Stark, and they're able to kind of put that to like much more kind of like darker use, and so it shows that Mysterio is pretty like, as a villain you can go at both ways. You can show him as pretty like dark, and yeah, this kind of dying, and it's interesting because like it's like this version of Quentin Beck knows they're dying and is like, well, like there's nothing in it for me, I'm gonna die, but I just want the satisfaction of like killing all my enemies first, and like he's not even like coy about that. So to go full on like megalomaniac evil characterization here, and I think they do a really good job of making the character actually seem genuinely terrifying. So I think that was a good portrayal of the character. And yeah, we have the ramifications now of the Watcher once again breaking their vow. It would be a bit nice, I think, if they tied it a bit into the previous like violations, because it almost initially it made it seem like their whole thing is obviously like, no, they're like, oh, I can't intervene, I've made a vow, I guess I can do a little bit, and it's like, well, you've done this twice before at least, or once or twice before, so it's not that big a deal for you. Like maybe if they put a thing in like, oh well, I did it once before and it kind of turned out okay, so maybe I can push the limits once more. But then we get that bit where we see we see who watches the Watchers, and it's the other Watchers, who like comment that this is like not the first time they've broken their vow. So it's nice that we're like, you know, actually acknowledging that, because it would have been weird if we hadn't. And I instantly recognized Jason Isaacs as like the main Watcher, overseer. They've all got names, but they're kind of in the credits and they're not mentioned on screen. And I love Jason Isaacs as an actor, and he does a really good job voice acting as well. And so I'm looking forward to kind of seeing how that threads along. There's 4 more episodes of this, and I know it's implied that the penultimate one is about the Watcher kind of being removed from everything or something like that. I think it's what if the Watcher disappears or whatever, and then the final episode's called What If. And that kind of like, I guess, we know how the series is basically going to end, what the plot points for the last 2 episodes are going to be, and I imagine there might be threads of that in the subsequent episodes. Like I said, I'm not really going to know, because tomorrow I'm going to be away. I'm actually not going to be away on Saturday, so I can catch up on 2 episodes on Saturday, and then on Monday I think I catch up on, oh, I'm back on Sunday as well, actually no, I'm back tomorrow evening as well, so actually no, we could be fine. We could end up doing this every day until it ends. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm going to do a quick reaction video to Outnumbered. Because I just watched it and then make food and then go to bed because I actually have an early start in the morning and I'm already kind of I probably should have already gone to bed already. So see you in a few moments.